What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Not Today. I'm Jen Sturger.
Hey, it's Eddie Pence.
Oh, you almost sounded like you're happy to be
Almost.
here.
I was building it up.
I saw you physically go, here we fucking go. Listen, this is the highlight of your week. Let's be real.
Pretty much.
I think anytime you're in front of a microphone or doing something creative, you seem happier.
Yeah, because I'm not
For that
in my
brief
head
moment in
thinking
time.
about
everything
else. When you can be on, because I don't get on stage anymore. Apparently, I can't be booked as a comedian anymore.
Oh,
so
that's
my
crap.
podcasting, my only opportunity to talk into a
Eddie,
microphone.
you also just don't go out and socialize and shake hands and kiss babies to
I
get on
did all
lineups.
that shit.
You have to always keep doing it.
I can't do that anymore.
No, it's not how that works,
Can't
Eddie.
I can't.
It's not how that
I
works,
can't do
Eddie.
it anymore.
You have to go out and you have to shake hands and kiss babies.
No.
Kiss babies, shake hands,
No.
whatever.
Fuck these people. I'm better than half the people who are on the stages in this town. Fuck these people.
I understand
I'm
that.
tired of it.
But also,
No.
you still have to put in the work.
I do. I did.
And I know
put in
it's
so much
against
work.
it's so against you and I's
I put
personality.
in so much work.
Like we're not social creatures. As much as we like to talk in front of a
I'm
microphone.
not a social creature. No.
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 Not at all.
No.
You'd rather be at home with your figurines.
Absolutely. I'd rather be home with toys. So much more.
And now you're all by yourself because Colton back in school.
Yeah, Colin's back in school now, so I'm lost again. It's where I dropped him off for. I mean, this is
this hard? I feel like parents look forward to the end of summer vacation. No,
I don't. I liked being with my kid. I liked hanging out with him.
You're like, I like having a buddy.
I do. I like that. It gives you something to. I mean, I guess because I'm home most of the time because my jobs are so and there's no set
Independent
schedule.
contractor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're home, so you like having your kid around and do fun shit with.
So now he's back in school. Question:
Yeah.
Do you think the drama from last year is going to pick back up?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
I think he was a little worried about it when I dropped him
For those
off.
of you who forgot or have just since joined us in the last couple of months, Colton was dealing with some. I wouldn't call it bullies. I would just call it like interpersonal stuff with other kids.
His one good friend turned on him, and it was just one of those things.
He WCW'd him.
Yeah, fucking.
Wait, who was who in this equation?
Colton was Marty Jannetty, and the other kid was Shawn Michaels, and the other kid put him through a plate glass window, metaphorically.
I love you. I'm sorry.
Metaphorically, yes. He Ric Flaired him. No, he had like a little falling out with his good friend, and so he was. It's weird because the friend circle was still there, and so a couple times this summer, he made like plans to go hang out with his buddy. He went to Universal City Walk and went to see a movie a couple times with his buddies, minus the one kid he didn't get along with.
Yeah.
And at one point, the guy who asked him was like, "Hey, do you want to invite so and so?" And he's like, "Well, you can, but it's gonna get awkward." Like Cole was like, "It's gonna be awkward if you do that because the other kids don't seem to really
care.
It doesn't register with them." Because it didn't involve them.
Do you think it doesn't register, or do you think they're just like, why can't you guys bury the hatchet? Like, do they think that they don't realize there's beef?
I think they do, but it doesn't. I think it's weird. It's
boy and girl dynamics are so different.
There's not a lot of outside understanding. Like there's no really taking in the account of other people's feelings. It's just young teenage boys are just they're just about themselves.
Man, what's that like? Girls are the exact opposite. Girls are constantly looking at like the social hierarchy.
Well, you're constantly worried about worlds colliding and social dynamics.
100%. Because we hate conflict. Most of us have been programmed to not want to deal with it. And then there's that one bitch that loves to start it.
Oh yeah, there's a shit stir in every group.
Ugh.
There's always a shit stir.
Was this kid the shit stir?
I think he was. He seems like he would like.
Is the group fine without him?
I think so. Yeah. Apparently the group's fine without him.
You know what I mean? Like, is it like Van Halen? Where like,
it's like we don't need.
We don't need David Lee Roth.
We got Eddie Van Halen. We're fine.
We still have the namesake.
Right. We have the
good.
Name and the good guitar player.
Let our kid play. It'll be better.
But like, apparently this kid, like, he just sort of manipulates every kid around him. Like, I'm your best friend this week. I'm your best friend this week. And then like, I don't know.
That dynamic is real dodgy.
It's a lot of stupid drama.
Oh. But the biggest drama is Colton's first day of school. He's
sophomore
outfit
now.
Did not fit.
No, it was
You didn't take him school shopping. You didn't know this before the first day of school.
It's weird when they're smaller. You like, let's get your first day of school outfit together. Like, let's make it an event. Go get new shoes. Go get a new shirt.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
And now if you were like, we have to go shopping for the first day, I would jump off a building. I despise shopping in general.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Nightmare. But
mostly, mostly because I would just be like critiquing my body the entire time.
This doesn't fit. This is too tight right here.
Yeah. What are we doing?
But I was like, what do you want to wear tomorrow? He's like, oh, I'll just wear jeans and a t-shirt. I'm like, okay. And Tracy was like being the person with forethought, unlike Colton and I. I'm like, well, we'll get him in the morning. She's like, try on the jeans now.
Oh.
Because he hasn't worn jeans since like May.
What's he been wearing?
Just shorts. It's
basketball
summer.
shorts.
Yeah,
and
basketball
stuff?
shorts. It's summer. So I'm like, okay.
Has he been weightlifting and things like that?
Yeah, because he's been training for football. So he's been doing this whole summer.
I wasn't sure when like football training started for high school.
He's been doing a lot of running, a lot of stairs, shit like that. And then like a lot of football training. And so we're like, go get the jeans, put them on. He puts them on and they're literally like, it's like your pants right now. They're like yoga pants.
I feel
like
personally attacked.
Denim yoga pants, right?
Aww.
I'm like,
jeggings.
I'm like, yes. And I'm like, fuck, those are tight, dude.
He couldn't zip them.
No, he could get them on, but they were just skin tight.
You were like, if he sits down wrong,
right,
we're getting a call from the school.
We're gonna see nuts if he sits down wrong. And so he goes, he's like, these are fine. I'm like, Colton, those aren't. He's like, skinny jeans are in. I'm like, first of all, skinny jeans are not in anymore.
He's like, I want to show off my hog.
I'm gonna show off this fucking giant schlong. I'm like, dude, you can't.
He's like, I'm gonna make the Pence family name proud.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna make yourself sterile if you wear those for 5 more minutes. It's so bad. So I'm like, all right, take them off.
Well, skinny jeans for dudes are in.
Are they in? Yes. Are they back in? I thought it was baggy jeans.
No, that's for women.
Okay.
Women have gone back into the baggy, wide leg type stuff.
But it's still mom waist though, right?
Still mom waist. Well, some girls are bringing back the low waist. I'm sorry, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You finally got me accustomed to the high-waisted bullshit. I realize I'm too young to wear. When I look at some of the pictures of me,
right,
from the mid-2000s.
Did you have the thong thing hanging out of the back?
Of course. Oh, yeah. Any girl that watched pro wrestling and saw Lita was going to get sent home from school at least once like that. Do you know what I mean? But no, I did that. And then like they did the super low rise when I was in college where like you really don't have a waist.
Right.
They were just literally, they ended right above your butt crack. And I was like, why did we think that was cool?
So as soon as you sit down, there's like 4 inches of crack.
Eddie, it was the smallest zipper possible on these pants. Do you know what I mean?
Like 3 teeth.
Well, I'm ready to go.
That's crazy.
Take them off. You're just like, but yeah, I think he could have probably gotten away with. He probably could
have, but so we told him like peel him off. So I was like, okay. So
peel him off. He was like
literally
Ross
had to peel him off.
He was like Ross from Friends.
Yeah, it was so tight, dude. They were so his legs from football.
The paste.
We didn't fucking put powder in. We're not, but like literally, his legs have gotten so big from football practice, just running every day and all that stuff. I'm like, all right. So I went and got a pair of my jeans. I'm like, here, put on a pair of my jeans.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes and puts them on. Same fucking thing. Skin tight. I'm like, oh my God.
Yours?
Yeah. His thighs are bigger than mine now.
Is he as tall as you now?
No, he's still like 1.5 inches, 2 inches shorter than me.
That's still insane, Eddie.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
I'm 6'1".
That's insane.
Yeah. And he's got like fucking tree trunk legs.
He's going to be taller than you.
I hope so.
You hope so?
Hey, you want your kid to be bigger and stronger than you at some point.
Do you guys really think about this shit?
Yeah.
Guys are like, he better be big. He better play sports.
You want your kid to be bigger. I don't care if he plays sports, but I want him to be bigger than me.
Yeah.
And smarter than me and better than me. Like I want him to be everything I'm not. Right?
Wow.
Like that's what you want out of your child. You want a better version of you.
Oh. It really depends on who you mix it with, huh?
That's true. It has a big... Yeah,
I love that you were like, I want a bigger version of me. And then you end up with Tracy.
Let me marry a 5 foot tall woman.
You're like, let's see how strong these jeans are.
But yeah, you want to be bigger and stronger and all that shit.
So what did he end up wearing?
Shorts, basketball shorts.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it's not like
you sent your kid on the first day of school.
Yeah.
In basketball
shorts and Deadpool t-shirt.
Eddie?
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like he just looked like he rolled out of bed.
It looked like it's clothes he could have been sleeping in.
Eddie, come on.
I don't know. Tracy was like, she's like, because she always planned his outfit out for first day of school, and he always had a nice shirt.
A big deal.
Yeah.
I think it's a bigger deal for moms than it is for the actual kids.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, kids don't give a shit.
But like that, I always remembered like being the first day of school. You had to have the first day of school and picture day.
Yeah,
those are the 2 days you don't dress like a hobo.
Right.
Everything else left up to interpretation.
Dude, I overdressed one day for picture day. I have 2 nightmare picture days when I was a kid, and both on opposite ends of the spectrum.
And the shitty part is that footage follows you forever.
Forever.
Like those pictures are still probably up at your parents' house.
Probably. Well, I think this was second or third grade class photo day.
Everyone looks weird at that age.
I wore a powder blue suit with a bow tie.
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Yes. Without the top hat and cane. I don't know why. I just wanted to wear it. My mom let me wear it. And every other kid in there
She's like, okay. She's
like, okay. And I literally, if you see the picture, like, why the fuck is fucking Lord Christmas in this fucking picture? I don't know why.
Because your teeth were probably still coming in too.
It was insane. I don't know why I wore it, and I stood. And then the other opposite of the spectrum, the night before pictures, I was like, I want to cut my bangs a little shorter.
Eddie?
Yeah.
No.
And I cut.
You literally look like Dumb and Dumber.
Dude.
You have to find this picture.
It's so
and insert it into this clip.
Well, I cut.
Because it needs to be on the internet.
I see if I can
forever.
find. I may have destroyed all copies of it.
Bullshit.
I had like uneven bangs, and then like my dad was a barber. That was before he was a police officer. He was a barber. So my mom like freaks out because it's picture day the next day.
He was changing gimmicks.
He went to a big one. You're
like, then he had his American Badass era.
Right.
Like all of the things you're describing your dad doing for work.
He had a barber. There's a cop.
Then he has a weird stormtrooper
the repo
helmet.
man at one point. Then he was the. So it was. Well, unlike me, my father changed courses in his career when things weren't working out, where I'm just barreling down this path of mediocrity. So my dad like tries to cut the bangs short enough to overcome the mistake, but now I have fucking bangs. They're literally, I look like fucking Mark Davis from the Raiders. And so there's I have that school pic. I have these opposite school pictures.
Just as much losing happening.
So much losing. Just a spectrum of losing.
Picture day. Oh man. I think my worst picture days are when I cut bangs. Yeah. And when I got braces.
Oh yeah, braces are bad.
Braces ruin everything.
Because you don't want to smile.
For a good 36 months of your life.
Yeah.
24 to 36, depending on how aggressive and demonic your orthodontist is. Did Colton have braces?
He's got them currently. He's had them for about 3 years now.
That's what I thought. But he's got like the more invisible kind?
No, they're there.
Really?
Yeah, he's got, they've taken him off twice already thinking he was done. And the teeth start shifting again. They had to put him back on. So he's had braces on 3 times. Is he
grinding his teeth?
I don't think so.
That's got to be it, dude.
I don't know what it is. But his teeth keep shifting every time they take them off. Is he going to end up
having to have jaw surgery like you?
I hope not.
Why did you even have that?
Because I had one side of my chin was growing longer than the other. Oh. And I had an underbite. Instead of like, your teeth are supposed to come down on top of each other.
Shih Tzu.
I was a little Shih Tzu. So that's what happened. I had a growth spurt and my jaw started growing. So they had to fucking even it out.
Tracy out here doing rescue work.
Right? She needs to put me down. Is what she needs to do.
But yeah, my picture day, like I said, I think I had really super curly hair. And then for some reason, they loved dressing me in shit they made.
Your mom?
My grandma.
Oh,
my
okay.
mom.
Well, grandmother's
yeah,
like to make
grandmother,
clothes,
like you had to wear the outfit your grandma made you. Like one-piece rompers.
At what age?
I think 2nd or 3rd grade.
My God.
Like old enough where people were like,
what are you doing? What?
The fuck? They're like, why is Jen getting bullied at school? We have no idea.
Because she has a butt flap. That's why. She's wearing one-piece rompers with a butt flap.
Oh. Did your senior picture turn out cool at least?
At the time,
the one that lives in infamy.
At the time, it's an okay picture. It's not a great picture. I was still awkward. Like I didn't really.
We were all still awkward.
Still awkward. You're still awkward as a senior. You don't think you are. Because you think you're awkward phase.
No, I think there were some kids that were genuinely cool. I mean, they all peaked then. Yeah. But like
the kids that really
cool
owned their senior pictures, they peaked.
Yeah, for sure.
I didn't.
I'm glad I didn't peak then. Trust me.
I didn't peak physically, I think, until like late 20s, early 30s. I think that's when I hit my physical, like, okay, I look like a decent person.
I'm a good looking.
I can take a good photo.
Okay.
Yeah. I can look at those photos from that time period and go, I'm happy with those photos.
I'm still waiting for that period. I don't think it's gonna ever happen.
But you've been photographed a lot too. So.
I know. But I think it might just be a numbers game.
Maybe.
You know, where like so many pictures of you get taken, there's bound to be a bunch of bad ones as well.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah. Man.
But yeah,
my senior picture was
it rough?
Dude, the early 2000s were not kind to women in terms of
what was the hairstyle in the early 2000s?
Makeup. Well, I had naturally curly hair.
Right.
But I was also trying to highlight it.
But we were past the big hair in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah. But I had big hair, which is the problem. I was fighting against nature.
Right. Everybody had the Friends Jennifer Aniston cut like early 2000s,
yes,
right? Like
I
just the straight.
Could not have it.
Right.
But I tried to go blonde. Which ended up orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have photos of that?
Yeah.
We need to see those.
Fine, I'll send you one. But I think the worst part, Eddie, was...
You had orange curly hair?
It was more...
Like carrot top?
Coppery.
Oh, copper?
It was more copper / like brassy. You know? It wasn't cute. But what was even worse, Eddie, is it was the no eyebrows and the dark Pamela Anderson lipstick.
Did you pluck all your eyebrows off?
Yeah, dude. Every girl plucked all her eyebrows. I blame Carmen Electra, Pamela Anderson. That's really it.
Those ruined a generation of eyebrows.
Yeah, they ruined and Drew Barrymore. Fuck you guys. You ruined eyebrows for a decade. We're still putting castor oil on our foreheads when we fall asleep.
Recovering.
Yeah, I just pray. It's like a chia pet. Like I might as well put Rogaine on my eyebrows. Like that's how much I have to like take care of them for them to just show up like this.
Wow.
And they're still not fully grown back.
Wow.
It's a lot.
You should get a class action lawsuit against get all the girls that pluck their eyebrows
from the mid 2000s
against Carmen Electra.
Were you personally victimized?
You can get $3.
Buy some Latisse with this.
Enough to buy a Sharpie.
Well, I hope Colton has a better school year, dude.
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he's on the football team. He'll have friends, and I think he'll be better. It's weird watching. Like he's literally, because it's 2024, and it was 10 years ago, almost this week, that I took him to kindergarten for the first time.
God,
that's like weird. It's weird because every decade of my life, I felt it's felt like a decade. Like 20 to 30 felt like I was in college, then I moved out here, and then I got married. Like that, a lot happened in that decade. And then 30 to 40, like I got married at 30. I went to Montreal New Faces. I got TV spot. Like I felt like I was building a career. Like I felt, and we had a baby in my 30s. Like I felt that decade.
Yeah.
40 to 50 has been just like, what the fuck happened?
Dude, that's how my 30s felt, though. I feel like things slowed down significantly when I turned 40. Maybe it's just me. And I'm only like a year in, obviously. Yeah. But like, I don't know. My 30s, I think it's because so much happened to me in my 20s.
Yeah.
Like I lived 5 lifetimes in my 20s.
You had several decades in that decade.
It was bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it was like, get discovered, have a bunch of weird television jobs, have that, the incident happen at the Jets.
Become a national story.
Have everyone find out about said incident about the Jets. So it was like I got double victimized there. And then complete identity crisis from like 28 to probably 38.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, who am I?
Yeah.
You know? And I think this past year, like I've learned so much about myself where I'm like, oh, my life makes a lot more sense now.
No, you're a much different person than you were 5 years ago. Like when we were doing our old show.
Yeah, I think so.
You're a much different person than you are today than you were then.
But I also think there were things that we now know what they are.
Yes.
That we didn't know what they were back then. Yes. And people got angry at me for them. Yeah. Not realizing
well, you know more about what's going on with you.
Oh, 100%.
Medically, physically, emotionally, mentally.
I also just feel like I'm not like permanently dysregulated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that I am settling into where I'm like, oh, I can take a day off every once in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, I can rest. I used to think rest was lazy.
Yeah, I still feel that way.
Really?
I do. That's why I look like
That's why you took that job the other day?
That's why I fucking became a PA
Listen,
at age 50.
When you texted me what you were doing the other day.
I sent you a picture of my walkie. It says Eddie, PA on it. And you're like, oh, I have a friend that can get you better PA jobs than that. And I'm like,
and you're
no,
like, please don't.
Are you trying to kill me?
Why did you take that job?
It's just fuck money.
Just friend of a friend type thing that like thought you'd be good for it. And...
Tracy's good friend. She's also my good friend. She's a producer she does commercials. She produces commercials. And she's like, hey, I need a PA for this day. Do you want to do it? It's $300. I'm like, yeah, it's $300. I don't have anything that day. I might as well go make $300.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, why am I in the position?
Your soul?
Right. I know. Because I'm like, okay, but like, why don't I have something going on that day where I'm not going, okay, well, I can just go make $300 doing this for 12 hours. I should have other things happening.
You know why, Eddie? Because I think at some point, like, you were supposed to be spending time with your kid. You know what I mean? Like, maybe Colton has turned out as awesome as he has because you've had the luxury of so much extra time with him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because listen, most kids that are only children turn out fucking weird.
Yeah. Well, I knew that going in. I knew we were probably going to have one when we had him.
So you're like, I got to make sure he's
socialized. Like, because I've known a lot of only kids in my life. I'm like, a lot of them are fucking weird. Like, really fucking weird. Not all of them, but a lot of them are fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to work to make this kid not. I don't want people going, oh, you're an only. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that throughout his life going, oh, you're an only. I see.
Oh, that makes sense.
Actively work against. You have to like, I don't want that to happen to him.
Yeah. So. You're like, have to be nice to your invisible brother.
Yeah.
Got to keep things fair. Like, we got to treat you the same.
Right.
You know? Oh, man. Well, so the PA job, you just were like, I'm too old for this. It's on the Murtaugh list. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, the Murtaugh list, you know? Where you're like, I'm too old for this.
Oh,
shit.
it's the top of the fucking. Because you're doing a job that a 22-year-old who's like, I can't wait to get in the film industry. Like that sort of energy needs to be. That's what PA energy needs to be.
Yeah, you need someone that is just, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, like whatever. Well, I'll do whatever you need me to do. That's fine. Sure.
I like my men with that kind of energy. Just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
Just happy to be invited.
Just tell me what to do. I'll do it with a smile on my face.
I'm joking. I hate that. There's something very annoying about that too. But
whatever you need. But my energy is like, okay.
All right. You're like, how many more hours?
Yeah.
You're just watching.
I'm like fucking on my phone scrolling and then like.
To be fair, for this particular incident, the talent was very late.
The talent was very late. 4 hours late.
At that point, you just don't show, right?
You would think.
Like that is.
I've never been on a set where we would. Usually on a set, you're rushing to get the shots. And like, okay, oh shit, we're running late. We're going to have to kick lunch back half an hour. Is everybody cool with that? That sort of thing. Yeah. Like we have to get 3 more shots in here before we have to break this down and set up another setup. This one, we're just sitting around like, okay, can you guys think of any other shots we should get? Like they're actually just like, let's do this shot. Well, how about this?
B-roll
like,
bullshit.
They're really like literally rewriting what they're doing because they have this extra time and all the equipment.
And what's crazy is the celebrity person would probably still have the same heart out.
Yeah.
Like they're like, you better get it all in. Better get it all in.
I'm out at this time, but you know.
It's fucking insane.
Whereas like if I was booked for anything, I'd be there fucking an hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
I was there an hour at a time for the PA job because I didn't want to be late to it.
But yeah, I can see where there's just certain jobs now that when I get offered them, I'm like, no, give that to a young person.
Right. But I
give
can't
that to a person who will think it's an amazing opportunity.
Right. And take advantage of it and maybe network to help themselves out. Because I'm not going to network there.
Yeah, you don't.
What am I going to network? I don't want to be a grip. I don't want to. I
don't even know what a grip is. Like, I hate to say that in industry where I'm like, there's legitimately jobs in the industry where like they're like, I need a second AD something. I go, what the fuck? What's that job description?
Like, I don't want to AD. I don't want to be a second
like
AD. I don't want to grip.
Used to,
I don't want to be a camera op. I don't want to do any of that shit.
Don't get me wrong. I know people by their names, and I know sort of what they do.
Right.
But I don't know.
But when they say key grip, you're like, I don't
know what that title is.
It's just how you hold your key when you put it in the lock.
Dude, I don't know. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, I've been in this industry for how long?
You don't need to know.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
No,
but I know they work their asses off.
They do. They all work their asses off.
Like I don't want their job. I don't want their job.
No, I don't want their job. I went to film school and go, I don't want to do any of these jobs. That's what I learned in film school. I don't mind directing. Directing's fun, but all the other shit that goes into a production, I don't want to be part of that.
No.
I respect the hell out of it because it's hard, backbreaking work. and thankless work. No one ever thinks about the people that make it look the way it looks or sound the way it sounds.
Yeah.
They just look at like, oh, that's
Chris
why
Evans.
I
want to make sure everybody knows I'm not shitting on crew members.
No.
I actually think they're the hardest working people in this fucking industry.
They are.
Them,
by far.
makeup artist, hair people. Like, I mean, like all the people that make the cool shit.
That make the person that shows up 4 hours fucking late for their job.
Look good.
Look good.
Yeah. Where you're like, I love this person. And you're like, we all wanted to kick them in the ass that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, being too old for stuff. Like, one thing I feel like I'm too old for sometimes is when I put on hot clothes. It's true. When I put on certain outfits, I'm like, we're too old for this, Jen. Stop it.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
I actually felt it.
When
I went to Florida State last year.
Well, that's different because you're surrounded by 18-year-olds.
I'm surrounded by 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, in the internet, I feel like I still hold up pretty well and I still look young. But when you go back to your college and you are surrounded by people who are actually in college, you're like, oh, holy shit, I'm the old hot woman.
There's a difference between not looking your age, looking young. Like I think we both look younger than we are.
We might be delusional.
We may be delulu, as the kids say. But I think we both
delusional.
I think we both look younger than what we are.
I think so, personally.
But there's a difference between looking young and actually being young.
Yeah.
Someone who is young looks
like,
way different than someone who looks younger than they are.
I can put on the cowboy hat and the boots and stuff, but I might throw my back out while doing it now. You know, like that's the difference.
Right. I mean, people are like, oh my God, you still look great, but you don't look like an 18-year-old in a cowboy hat.
People are like,
boots.
she still looks great. She still looks good. Somebody said I might actually look hotter, and I was like, thank you. Mm-hmm. It's good work. It's good work, and just not having children.
It's all the key grips behind
drinking.
the scenes.
Yeah, exactly. It's all the people like. Listen, this podcast would not be possible if it were not for Alex.
No, Alex.
Because you and I don't have the fucking patience.
I don't.
To set up multiple cameras.
No, and switch back and forth.
Same with our old show, Bumblebee.
Bumblebee
held the whole thing together.
Turn.
It was the glue of the show, you know? So we had to keep Bumblebee happy at all times. Because, man, if he was not.
Oh, dude. He could tank us the way Alex could tank us.
Yeah, they can take us out.
That's why it took so long for us to get a second show, because we couldn't find anybody to do this.
Yeah, because we're motivated enough to show up and talk. We're not motivated enough
to hit record.
To do all of the electronic stuff behind the scenes. It's not my forte.
Dude,
my forte.
It takes every ounce of me wanting to do something to just fill out like what the show description was about before it goes up to the
Is that you shaking the couch or is that an earthquake?
I don't know. I don't think I'm shaking. No, I'm not shaking.
What? What did Alex say?
It's a car.
It's a car? That's a fucking car?
You guys, they do street races out in front of the studio sometimes. It's like 101 cars. They all are crazy, souped up. You've seen the corner car place.
You sound like a grumpy old man.
I'm a grumpy old man because you're making me grumpy, Eddie.
Sorry. It's
my pants don't fit, but for the wrong reason.
Sorry, guys. I got distracted by the Tokyo drift happening outside. Oh my God. I was like, is it happening? Is it happening? I'm like, I always wanted a clip of us experiencing an earthquake.
No, not yet.
I don't feel like did we have one on our old show? Or we just had the one clip where everything fell apart and we had to sage our place.
That was the ghost in your house.
Yeah, the ghost.
That dropped the table down on Bumblebee.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, dressing hot. I also feel too old to deal with men's bullshit in public spaces. Like, I don't feel like I have to entertain. Like, I used to be really nice.
Yeah.
When, like, men would hit on me or men would.
And you don't have time for that anymore.
I don't have time for it
So you couldn't
anymore.
work at Hooters anymore.
No. Oh, I absolutely not.
You couldn't do your Hooters job anymore.
Dude, I couldn't work at it when I worked there. Honestly, that has to be bar none one of the worst jobs I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I only lasted like 2 weeks.
I read an article about this girl who loves her Hooters job because she makes a killing at it. I think they said she made like $480 on a shift.
Yeah, that's
Did you make
right.
a lot of money at Hooters?
You can.
But there's like 3 things she hated about it.
It's just how much bullshit are you willing to put up with? It's really a test of your wills. You know?
let me read the article. Okay, she said, hold on. So I'm a Hooters waitress that loves my job. I'm a Hooters waitress who makes a fortune, but 3 things I absolutely hate about the job. Mm-hmm. And then so she says the first thing she hates, some sleazy male customers make the job more difficult than it needs to be.
1,000%.
But that could be that's life in general. Any sleazy male customers make life just in general bad.
You could have a sleazy male customer everywhere, but there was definitely a certain type that went to Hooters.
Yeah. Which I never understood, because I literally went to Hooters for the wings. I never went to go, wow, look at these girls in thick pantyhose and orange shorts.
I mean, I never really understood how people got off on that either.
I don't understand it. I never did.
It was weird. It was weird branding, for sure.
It's very strange.
They're like, let's dress these girls up like they're on a weird high school dance team.
It was a drill team.
They're going to be...
Look like a drill team
If you put
outfit.
flags in their hands, fucking same. You know what I mean? But Hooters customers were just... They were dudes who were too awkward to go to the strip club.
They were too cheap to go to a strip club.
They were too cheap, and they were like, but we could also get food. Do you know what I mean? Where they're like, because listen, there
These
are some,
curly fries is banging.
Listen, there are some places in Florida, that are strip clubs that are also fully licensed restaurants.
Oh, okay.
At least they used to be.
Yeah.
Who knows? I feel like at some point there's like a nipple ring ends up in your eggs, like it shuts down the whole thing. Do you know what I mean? We actually wrote one of those in our script that we wrote.
What was the name?
Cafe Titties.
Cafe Tite.
They converted it into a Waffle House.
Used to be a Cafe Tite.
But it's true.
Yeah.
There are some places, there's some strip clubs in Florida that are like, they're practically a Perkins. You know what I mean?
So
but
funny.
they're just titties out, you know? But Hooters felt like they were younger girls who hadn't quite gotten into the strip game.
Yeah.
It's like the farm
I don't have the balls to strip yet.
They were the farm system for strip clubs. What's crazy is the location I worked at, a lot of the girls were also strippers.
Really?
So they were just there to promote their nighttime activities.
It's not a bad idea.
Free marketing.
Free marketing.
You know what I mean?
You're getting tipped twice.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
It's not a
They'd be like, this is the...
They'd work the lunch shift at Hooters.
That was the coming attractions. You want to see more?
That's funny.
Show up at Mons Venus, Dollhouse. I forget all the names.
Mons Venus is a great one.
Mons Venus. Yeah. They have a spaceship out front.
Oh, dude, do they?
You've never seen Mons Venus when you've been to Tampa?
I've never been to Tampa.
Oh, you're not missing much.
You haven't sold it really well.
That's by design. It's by design. But yeah, so the girls that I worked with, they were there to promote their other jobs.
That's not a bad idea. And then she says, second, the server said she's always forced to be bubbly regardless of whether or not she's actually in a good mood.
Amen. I always struggle with this. But honestly, it got me hired in other jobs where
I think it's probably good training.
They were just like, Jen, you're so no bullshit. And that's why I would get hired for other bartending jobs later. Because they're like, Jen's not going to get drunk with the customers. She's not going to take shit from anybody.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like weirdly protected behind the bar where I would be way more ballsy and I had way better boundaries when there was a wall between me and the customer.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
As opposed to being a waitress out there.
Exactly. Where you're just out in the wild where people can grab you or touch you. I couldn't do that.
Yeah, you literally had a wall around you.
I had a dude touch me one time at Hooters.
Uh-oh.
And at the time, I did not.
Is this what ended your Hooters reign?
No. We'll get to that later. I've never told that story.
I think you did.
I feel like I did.
It seems familiar.
But no, I had a customer touch me one time at Hooters while I was there in my training. And it was before I had implants. So I had these like rubber chicken cutlet looking things.
Right. Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about those.
During a Hooters shift would get sweaty and hot.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I took one of them out and slapped a dude in the face with it because he grabbed my ass. And I was like, yeah, you want it? So anyways, I got written up for that for sure. I would hate to see my employee profile at Hooters.
You're probably banned from all Hooters.
No, just the one on Hillsborough. Just the one on Hillsborough in Tampa.
And then finally she says that she dished that some of the stunning servers can be competitive about taking tables to procure tips.
They're not just competitive about that.
So
they're competitive about everything.
They're literally trying to grab the table.
It was high school all over again. It was high school all over again. Some of those girls were some of the most vicious women I've ever. And it's crazy because I talk to other friends and they talk about the camaraderie
of waiting table jobs.
Of waiting tables and the camaraderie that they had working at Hooters. And I'm like, yeah, because you girls are not a threat. You girls don't have opinions. You're very go along with the flow of things.
Right.
I don't know if you know this about me, Eddie. I'm not that person.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
You have opinions.
I have a lot of opinions, and people do not like it.
I've worked in the service industry before. I bartended and waited tables before, and I've actually worked in the kitchen of service, and it's always been, the staff has always been a united team.
Yeah, but that's probably because a lot of those places pool tips. Hooters,
no,
girls,
we didn't pool tips.
Really?
No.
So you kept whatever you made?
You kept whatever you made. Which was, but it was just very fascinating to hear that, because I guess being a Hooters waitress, you can kind of go and like, if you put on more of a show, you're going to get bigger tips, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if you're just at like fucking working a Bennigan's or TGI Fridays, you're just getting tipped for your tip.
Because they make your section smaller, so a lot of it's just about like your personality.
Yeah, like how much, like that's why they sit at the table with you and sign their name on the paper.
And they're like, tell me more about anime.
I really like
Tell me more about how you think the Mets are going to make it.
I'm such a big Mets fan.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that was part of the job.
Yeah.
I'm not good at small talk.
No.
So I'd be like,
you want ranch or blue cheese?
Want ranch or blue cheese with your childhood trauma? Tell me about it. Do you know what I mean? I would have deep like I made very good friends at my bartending jobs later in life.
Well, bartenders are supposed to have deep conversations.
Yeah.
That's the point of bartending. Well,
I want to find out if I'm serving an alcoholic or not. I want to find out if I'm contributing to the downfall of you, you know? But with Hooters waitressing, the girls were just vicious. The girls were vicious, and they were not necessarily some of the brightest women that I've worked with. And I don't know. I have a real strong sense of like things being fair.
Right.
And that job never felt like it was fair.
Right.
You know? So, yeah.
Because every time I've been to a Hooters, it's been a while, but the girls always seem like they're all buddies. That's
that bullshit I was talking about, where girls are scared to not be in the flock.
Right.
That's why I asked, like, what's the deal with Colton and this group of friends?
Yeah.
Because especially at like a place like Hooters, Hooters is my worst nightmare. Hooters, sororities, like everyone's like, let's let women run the world. Until women are ready to deal with their own bullshit and not think of each other as enemies, don't let us run the world.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a woman who has dealt with herself, dealt with her bullshit, has confronted all of the shadow aspects of herself that make her hate other women or treat other women poorly. That's the woman you want running the country. You know what I mean? That's the woman you want running the world.
Right.
If a woman hasn't dealt with any of that, like, you're just putting like a toxic bitch in charge, you know? And no, I've dealt with so many of those in the workplace, and it makes me not trust working with other women.
Yeah. Because
I've run into so many unhealed women, especially in places of power, where you're just like, you are not an effective leader.
Yeah.
You're not a good boss because you haven't dealt with your own bullshit. You know?
Right.
Anyways, that's my diatribe on Hooters.
Wow. We uncovered a lot. Good session.
Oh, God, that just saved me going to therapy.
There you go.
We had so much more to talk about, but it's already time, Eddie.
It's time.
It's time.
Time for it.
Alex, turn your levels up a little bit just so that people can hear you at home. You were a little light before.
Yeah, I don't really want people to hear me.
You got to be heard.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play against
undefeated.
me,
I'm undefeated now.
You're not undefeated.
I am undefeated now.
We're playing Florida Man Friday. I read Jen Sturger.
It's like playing a board game with children that make up the rules.
I'm behind the camera, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm behind the camera.
Pulling all the strings. Florida Man Friday. I read Jen Sturger. 3 Florida Man headlines, 2 real, 1 fake. She tells me what is the fake headline. Alex is going to play along with us. Here we go. Florida man suspected of using private plane to draw giant radar penis.
Sick.
Sick. Florida man steals police car, claims he was auditioning for a movie role. Florida man gets tired of waiting at hospital, steals ambulance, drives home. Which one of those is the fake Florida man headline?
I think it is 2.
2. Okay.
I think it's B.
Florida man steals police car, claims he was auditioning for movie role.
Yes.
Okay.
Love
Alex?
it. Love it. I think it's 3.
You think it's 3?
Yeah.
Florida man gets tired of waiting at hospital, steals ambulance, drives home. Your winner and new champion, Jen Sturger.
Oh, 2-1.
What up? Alex, it is so much.
Dethroned.
There's a way bigger deficit than that, buddy. You just started keeping score because you started winning. Okay,
that is a fair point.
Anyways,
dethroned the undefeated Alex.
I'm so glad Radar Penis is real.
Yeah, Radar Penis is real.
I really need to see a picture of it.
I'll pull it up.
Please send
they
it to me.
actually had a picture of the penis.
Yeah, I figured the auditioning for a movie role thing sounded too LA.
It was a very LA.
Yeah,
it's not a Florida thing.
But the ambulance thing, I can totally. Honestly, it sounded like you took the auditioning for a movie role thing off an episode from Friends. I literally just watched that episode last night where like the girl's apartment burns down and Joey's like, hey, can I borrow your firefighter outfit for an audition I have? That's exactly what it's like. That's a good one. Eddie, where can people find you?
Check me out on all the socials at Eddie Pence or eddiepence.com.
At Jennifer Sturger, guys, on all the socials. Or Jennifer, it's JennSturger.com. Yeah, JennSturger.com.
Or Hooters, at Hooters.
No. Dude, I think I told you I had the person who was my old manager write me on MySpace naturally.
Wow. Wow.
And he was like, well, this is after I got discovered and I was in all the magazines and stuff. He's like, I knew you were always meant for bigger things.
You made it. Jennifer,
you made it to the top of the Hooters mountain.
I think I had a little piece of that. Little piece of that victory.
Oh, guys, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Not Today. Please continue to share us, rate us, do all the things. Help us keep growing the show. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and we want to keep that energy going. So we will see you next week on another episode of Not Today.